How's it going today, guys? So today we're going to be talking about how I was able to save $12,000 in 12 months, and I'm going to give you guys some advice on how to save money. Now, the actual method of doing this is very simple, and if I was just going to tell you that, this would be about a 30-second video. All you have to do is automate contributions to a separate savings account, about $250 a week or $1,000 a month, and bada bing, bada boom, there you go, you're saving $12,000 a year. Now, I'm guessing that is not what you guys are looking for. The actual way of doing this, the method of doing this, is very simple. Automating your savings and, hoping you have enough money at the end of the week or the end of the month to pay your bills. So I'm going to show you guys how this becomes a sustainable strategy going forward. Now, I just want to say this, guys. When you're looking at saving money, whether it's for a house or a car or saving money to invest, you want to make sure this is a sustainable strategy, because if you can't do it for very long and you find that by the end of the week you're eating canned beans and your lights are going off because you're not paying the electrical bill, then obviously that's not working very well for you. So you want to make sure that you're saving an amount that is enough for your goal, and it's also enough for you to have a comfortable life where you're not living just for tomorrow. You don't want to be fully in deferred living mode where you're saving so much today and you're miserable today because you're saving for tomorrow. So make sure you guys find the fine line there, and don't be making yourself miserable just because you're trying to save money. Now, I really didn't follow that advice myself, because when I was saving over $1,000 a month, that was like 1/3 of my take-home pay from my job. So my expenses were low, but I by no means had any kind of lavish lifestyle. And the reason I was saving so much money was because I absolutely hated my job. I hated what I was doing, and I said, look, at some point I don't want to be doing this anymore, and I'm going to need a nest egg built up if I'm going to go out there and find a new job or start a business. So for me, the goal of saving money was always for a better future tomorrow. Once I decide what it is I want to do with my life, I would have the money to be able to sustain myself while I built up my business. So whatever your goal is, one of the things you have to make sure you do is you have to set that goal, because if you're just saving for the sake of saving and you have no real goal, then my guess is as soon as you see something you want to buy, then you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to blow my savings on this, I might as well, because I want that instant gratification today. So make sure you have a goal for what it is you are saving. That's actually number 4 on my list, but I just wanted to share that at the beginning here, because that is the most important step, is to have a goal for what it is you are looking to save for. If it's for a car that you want to buy, I wouldn't recommend just buying a car because you want a nice car. If you're looking for a reliable method of transportation, or you're looking to buy your first house, then that is a reasonable goal. That is something you should buy, and maybe put a photo of that on your fridge or on your bathroom door, somewhere you're going to see it all the time, just to remind yourself why it is that you are saving and not spending. But the way that I saved $1,000 a month was I actually invested that money. So I had the option while I was employed. I worked at a big utility near where I live, and they allowed me to buy company stock. I was able to buy it at a slight discount and automatically take those contributions out of my paycheck. So I filled out the paperwork. I could max out at 20% of my pre-tax income, and that ended up being about $1,100 a month going into company stock. Now, this was before I learned a lot about investing, and I did not realize that I was obviously not diversified if I was dumping so much money into one stock. So after I did have about $15,000 saved up in company stock, that is when I sold some off and diversified in some different stocks. That way I wasn't, having all of my money in one place or having all of my eggs in one basket. But that is pretty much the way I did it. I automated it, and I had about $1,100 a month going into company stock before I even had the opportunity to touch my money. Now, how did I make sure that I had enough money to live and sustain myself? This is what I was doing. Number 1, I would recommend driving an older car. So if you're driving a brand new car and you have a $500 or $600 a month car payment, then you're obviously not going to be able to save a lot of money. Now, this might come back to bite you, because when you're driving an old car, you're going to have to maintain it. And I found that every 3 to 6 months, I had to put about $1,000 of work into my car. So, you really want to make sure you're driving something reliable. If it becomes a money pit, then yeah, I wouldn't recommend driving a really old car. The car I was driving was a 1999, so this was a very old car, but it was relatively reliable. I was putting a lot of miles on it, and I would rather put about $1,000 of work into it once in a while, a couple times a year, than pay like $500 or $600 a month for a car payment. It was still cheaper than driving a newer car. Number 2, like I said, guys, automate your contributions. Don't leave it up to yourself to make those contributions yourself. Set up a separate savings account and automatically have that money moved in there every single week, or there's apps that will allow you to do this. There's all kinds of ways you can do that, guys, but do not rely on yourself to do that, because if you get a chance to spend that money before you put it somewhere else, then you're probably going to spend it. So automate it, set it and forget it, and let that savings build over time every single week. Number 3, the third thing that I did that helped me save money was preparing meals at home. It's very expensive to be eating out. I know a lot of people don't want to cook at home. A lot of young people have no idea how to cook, and you can make some very basic and affordable meals at home. Don't be buying breakfast sandwiches and coffee and Subway sandwiches. It's just a huge waste of money, guys. I've done other videos about that, talking about how I've saved a ton of money by cooking meals at home, but it's a no-brainer, guys. Don't be paying the convenience of having prepared food. It's very, very expensive, and it's a luxury you can't afford if you're trying to save a massive amount of money. Number 4, like I said, guys, you got to set goals for your savings. You're not just going to save for the sake of saving. You're going to have a firm goal of what it is you are actually saving for. Like I said, for me, it was like my freedom fund. I was trying to save up enough money to sustain myself for a couple of months while I went off and started my own business. Or at that time, like I said, I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do. I just knew I wasn't happy. And even if I wanted to go quit this job and find a new one, it would take me a couple months to really get that all figured out. So I needed some money saved up in order to sustain myself and pay for my bills. Number 5, you want to track your progress. So if you are automating your contributions, start a spreadsheet and write down every week how much money is going into that account, and set your goal, and that way you can determine how long it will be until you reach that goal. And any extra money you have on top of your automated contributions, start adding that in there as well, just to get to that goal faster. Now, number 6 is a tough one, especially for young people, but you have to look at alcohol and dining as a social experience only. You're not going to be going out to TGI Fridays on a Tuesday night because you don't feel like cleaning your kitchen. You're going to be going out socially. You're going to be drinking socially with friends, and you're going to be, again, preparing your food at home, preparing your meals at home whenever possible. Number 7 is to avoid materialistic people. You're not going to want to surround yourself with people that are blowing through money, driving expensive cars, wearing expensive clothing, because you're going to start to do the same thing that they are doing. If you're all hanging out together and you're all going to the mall and they're buying things, then you are also going to start buying things. So you do not want to hang around with people that are doing the exact opposite of what it is that you are trying to do. Number 8, and I'm not saying you guys have to do this, but if you are serious about saving money, you're going to want to stay single. Relationships can be very expensive, whether it's buying gifts for, big milestones or holidays, whether it's buying meals, things like that. Now, when I was doing this, I was single, but it was because my mind was so focused on my own happiness and trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life that the last thing that I needed was a relationship to kind of, cloud my thoughts. I was focusing on myself. And if you really are somebody like me and you're trying to, go start your own business or change the situation you're currently in, then I wouldn't be surprised if you were single as well, just for that reason, being that you're focusing on yourself. But if you are trying to save money, at least find somebody who's not going to be materialistic, and at all costs, if you have to, then just stay single. It's going to save you money. And then number 9, the final thing, guys, is to keep busy. Keep your mind off things. Don't be going on Facebook scrolling through your news feed and saying, oh, that's a cool looking bath bomb, I should go buy that. You're going to want to keep busy, read books, exercise, do things like that are going to occupy your time. And, those are things where you're not going to be spending money. I know a lot of people shop when they're bored. They go to the mall on their lunch break and they just spend a bunch of money. And I used to do this as well. I used to go wander around the mall and take a walk in the winter when I was working. And I realized I was spending, $50-$60 a week on random things I didn't need just because I was walking around the mall. So don't be doing things out of boredom that are going to contribute to you spending more money. But anyways, guys, that is how I did it. That is how I saved, over $12,000 in 12 months. If you guys are looking to save money, like I said, the number 1 thing, you need to automate it. And number 2, you got to set your goals. That way you know what you're saving for. If you guys have any other tips, drop them in the comment section below as far as saving money. If you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a like. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to be notified of any future uploads. And as always, I thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you are interested in learning more about investing in the stock market, I've created a free course just for you. The link is in the description below. Here are a few other videos you might enjoy as well.